Hi everyone, so today we're looking at another tutorial to show you how to make little treat boxes. Now I've done a variety of treat boxes here. I'm going to show you how to make this little square one, and in here I've done one that has little after eight mints in it. This one I've done, and it takes little tea bags. So there we've got little tea bags in it. So lots of ideas. This one has 4 Ferrero Rocher in it. I can't even remember what I put in some of these. This one, little flip lid, and it's got a Cadbury Christmas pudding in it. That one. Let's see what's in here. And this one is 2 Ferrero Rocher. Oh no, it's not. It's 2 Lindor chocolates. Okay, so let's tuck that behind his head there. Okay, so let's have a look. Very simple instructions, and I'm going to show you this one here, which is going to take 1 Ferrero Rocher chocolate, or a Lindor with a bit of space around it. And I've cut myself a piece of card 12 centimetres by 20 centimetres. As usual, the imperial will be up in the top corner, and that's what we're going to do. Now I measured a Ferrero Rocher, and we're going to make a 4 centimetre box. So I'm going to bring that in there. I'm going to turn it the lengthwise. Now I have deliberately kept it white so that it shows up a bit better on the video, but you can do whatever you like. And I'm going to score at 4 and 8. Right. At the end of the video, if you hang on, I will do an extra piece added on that shows you a simple way to make any size box you wish. So on this side we're turning it round and going along the long side, and we're going 4, 8, 12, 16, and we end up with 20 here. Okay, so let's put that out, and I'm just going to soft fold all my score lines. Okay, so it's divided all into squares at the moment. So I'm going to look at this first square on the right hand side and the left hand side, and I want to apply tape to those. So I'm going to take this, and this is working on the inside of the box at the moment. I want a nice firm fix on it, so I'm putting 3 strips across. You can use wet glue. I'll show you a nifty trick if you're using wet glue, and I'm going to take those off in a minute. But first of all, I want to do a little bit of cutting. There is my front of my box, and I want these flaps to go round the side. So I'm going to cut up the score line to there. There. And if I keep these out the way, this middle piece, I want to just ease a little bit by taking a tiny wedge. Right, no measuring, just a little wedge to ease it. Turn it round, cut up the score line. If you find it easier, bend at the next score line, and then you know where you're heading. Okay, so this one stays intact, this one is intact, and we just take off a little wedge from there. Okay. Now we want to come up, so we've got one here intact, one cut, one here intact, but I'm going to separate these last two portions here just simply with one snip. Right. So these two pieces are going to make the lid, and that's going to stay as it is for the moment we're dealing with this bottom bit. So I'm going to fold this up. These flaps will come forward. These are standing up. These wrap round that side and then take off the tape you've put on. We don't want to see any seams, so make sure these come up, this comes forward, and these pieces wrap round. If you leave it onto the actual desk, if possible, you get the right angle here at the base. There we go. So there we have our little box to begin with. Right, now we're going to look at this piece here, and we're going to cut, if I get a pencil, we're going to cut from this point across and from this point across, so we make a point coming out. Okay, so one across there and one across there, and I'm going to do exactly the same, working by eye. So I now have a point to both bits. Last bit we need to do is to cut down after we've cut to the centre. Cut down to the centre. Right. At great expense we have a elastic band, and we're going to fold this down, and first of all I need to fold those down, and I want glue on these outer pieces. I want to be very careful that it doesn't overlap and come onto the box, otherwise your box won't open. So I'm going to fold that back. I'm going to use wet glue this time, and I'm keeping it away from the edges because it will squash out a little bit. I folded down the points, I go down to there, and I fold this back, and if I can show you, I've now made this slanting edge on here. Now you can see that it's wanting to pop up, so simple elastic band, and I'm just going to hold it down like that. So there is our box, and I'm just going to get one of the Ferrero Rocher. There we go. Open the box, pop the Ferrero Rocher inside, fits beautifully, and then close this down, and for a few minutes I'm just going to hold that in place with the elastic band. So there we go, that's two. This one is slightly bigger, but there's a Ferrero Rocher box, and you can decorate it how you wish. Okay, so what I want to do now is to bring in a piece of paper. Now it looks complicated to begin with, but don't worry about it at all. And this will show you how to make any size box you want. So this one we had 4 centimetres all the way round. So let's have a look what this one was. This one was 3.5 by 7. So if we want to do that, we want 3.5, which is the depth here, 7, which is the width here, and we need to go back 3.5 there. So that is 7 plus 7. Our piece of paper needs to be 14 by something. Right, so now we want the height. The box itself is going to be, I think, with 7. Yes. So our box is going to be 7 high. The depth is 3.5. Height 7, depth 3.5 and 3.5. 7, 14, 21, 22, 24.5. Okay, so we know we want to cut a piece of card 14 by 24.5, and those are our score lines there. Okay, so I'm going to go and cut that for you, and then we'll show you how to make the next box. So I've cut myself a piece of card 14 by 24.5. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and on the long side facing me, let's turn it over. I'm going to score at 3.5 and 7. At 3.5 and turn it round. So 3.5, turn it round, excuse me, and 3.5, which leaves me my 7 in the middle. Turn it round, and I'm going to score. Let's bring in my sheet here so you can see. I'm going to score 7. I'm going to add 3.5, so that's 10.5. I'm going to add 7, which is 17.5. I'm going to add another 3.5, 1, 2, 3.5, and I should get left with 3.5 that side. We haven't had any left over, so I'm happy you've got that right. And I'm just going to soft fold all of those. Right, now this is the piece here which has 2 small pieces to make the lid. So I want to start with this front. And on the inside of this area, I'm going to apply tape, and this side. This one was going to take, I think it's 4 Ferrero Rocher. So we've put our tape on here. I'm going to make my little flaps to come up inside the box, and I'm cutting down to the line, and I'm going to take a tiny wedge, turn it round, cut to the line, and take a tiny wedge. Okay. So up to here, I now want to just cut to separate part of my lid. So I'm going to come up to there and up to there. Okay, So there's my lid ready to make. So we're going to do the box first. I'm going to fold in those pieces. These bits we've done the little wedge on are going to go inside, and I'm going to take the tape off both sides together, fold these up, these little flaps are inside, and I'm going to keep it on the table so that I can make sure the bottom of the box is level, and fold this round. There is my little box, perfect. Okay, now we want to look at this roof or this lid again, and I'm going to take from the corner here to make a point, from the corner here to make a point, and then cut the two bits so that they're separate. Turn it round, cut across to make the point, and cut down the centre. There. Okay. Now I'm going to fold those bits in. These bits are the outer bits I want to do the glue on. So I'm going to fold those down like that, fold this back, and then I can carefully apply glue on that piece, fold those down, fold that forward, and these come back. Right, take my elastic band, and I'm doing that just to hold it for a few minutes while it sets. So let's go back to this one which we did earlier, which should now be dry, and we can now pull up the lid. We've got a beautiful, just trim a tiny bit off there. There we go. So now we've got a perfect box with a little flip top lid. So anything can go on here as decoration, but we did do it in white, so you can really go to town with the decoration. So I'm going to add some little squares of decoration onto here, and we'll have another look at it at the end. Let's come back to this, hoping it's dried. It's very quick drying glue, but we'll see. Okay, so there, just going to trim any bit that overhangs. There we go. And there is the box finished. Now I did say it would fit 4 Ferrero Rocher, so let's test it. 1, 2. You can tell I don't like eating Ferrero Rocher because they're still all here. There we go. So now we have 4 Ferrero Rocher. Fold it over, and you can put whatever decoration on there that you wish. Okay. So let's put that. Do have a look. You can stop the video and take a clip of that if you wish, but let's bring one in without the measurements on it. So any depth, any width, and then add another depth. Height, depth, height, depth, depth. So there we are. Feel free to take a copy of that, and then simply fill in your measurements. If you want a much deeper box, this one was 4, let's say 5, 10 high, 5 deep again. Those have got to be the same. So you'd want 5, 15, 20. You'd want a piece of card 20. And then if you want the height 10, 5, 10, 5, and another 5. 5, 10, 20, 30, 35. So 20 by 35, and you'd then have a very deep box and twice as high. Have fun playing with your ideas, but for a start off, have a go at this one, because this will make you, the box here, you can learn all the techniques, and then if you want to go on further, you can have a go at extending different measurements. Okay, so have fun and God bless you all.